Hey everybody, this is War Boss Fits out in the garage again, and I want to talk a little bit about that Titan video that we had over the last weekend. I've received a couple comments, and a lot of people have reached out to me in other places about that video, and wondering why I didn't talk more about the actual breakdown of the battle, why I did a 10,000 point demolition derby instead of the 2,000 point battle, and why I didn't show any of the dice rolls in the big game to begin with. I'm just going to go ahead and give this one shot, unedited, to give you guys my real thoughts on the Titan Lords. I did film the 2,000 point game, and the Titan Lords lost handily. I don't remember what the final score was, but I know the Titan Lords over the course of the entire game only were able to score 2 victory points. And I did a little bit of recreation so I could show you guys the exact points in the game where they sort of fell apart. So on turn 1, the War Disciples all had cover moving forward. They were hiding good enough to where the Titan Lords were not able to train any of their guns on the units. So the Titan Lords moved towards the objectives that they had cards for, while also trying to stay out of charge range for turn number 2. Everything seemed to be going fine. And on turn number 2, I remembered to bring the destroyers in. They dropped 9 inches away from 2 of the different Titan Lords, so that way it doesn't matter which one activates first, they're going to charge into the second one. So the first Titan Lord activates, shoots into the destroyers, and did 1 point of damage. Then it's the destroyers' turn to activate. Charge into the other Titan Lord, and with their Furious and their Rending Claws, they caused 8 wounds. The Titan Lord on the attack back caused 1 wound. Now, when I do these battle reports, if something is totally swingy, I'll re-roll the dice. Just because I don't want to have one bad dice roll determine a game and have everyone think that it's amazing how the army's operating when it's just because the dice just completely crapped the bed. So even with re-rolling some of the attacks, he still only was able to get 1 wound through. Okay, fine, is what it is. Rolled leadership on the Titan Lord, failed. Okay, he's got Fearless. Rolled Fearless, failed. Turn 2, 500 points of Titan Lords ran off the board, only causing 1 wound. That was sort of the beginning of the feel bad. The other 2 Titan Lords on the board, they fired into that Destroyer squad, and they were able to put 3 more wounds total on it, which killed 1 Destroyer. One of them left with 1 wound, the Destroyer Captain, and 1 Destroyer full. But they all moved away from the Destroyers, so they're just going to have to haul butt the rest of the game to get to anything. And over the course of turn 3, nothing was able to get into combat. But the Titan Lords, all 3 of them, fired into the Dreadnought and didn't do much damage. Then one of the Cultist squads was able to get into combat, and they won combat against the Titan Lord. Then turn 4 started. The Brute was able to get into combat with another one. The rest of the destroyers that was left were able to get into combat with the other one. It devolved into a tabling for the Titan Lords. So the game just didn't feel good. Didn't feel like it showed off anything fun for the Titan Lord. So as I was putting it together, I just decided to dump the whole thing. Erased all the files from that and said, no, I can't put this out. Then I saw someone left a comment to put all 16 of your Stompy Dreads on the board. So I thought, you know what, why not? I'll make a derby. That sounds like fun. So I came up with the idea for it, the announcer character, the way it was going to go. And yes, most of that was scripted. Because again, the Titan Lords are just not that good. It wasn't going to be scripted until I had the first close combat Titan hit the first battle rig. Now the battle rig has 18 wounds. The close combat Titan has 8 attacks with a stomp at AP 2. He had 3 attacks with a chainsaw at AP 2 with damage 3, and 9 attacks with a fist at AP 4. So 27 total possible wounds they could do. And all the battle rigs had 18 wounds. He has to hit with all those attacks on a 3. And then 16 of those possible wounds, the battle rig has a 50-50 save going from a 2+ to a 4+. So after the first full-on Titan was not able to take out a battle rig that was pretty much bare bones, I decided that the Titans were going to just kill the battle rigs as soon as they got in close combat because it'll be more fun. More stuff blows up. And then having the Lancer show up with a steel chair in round number 3, I just thought that was fun because, yes, I did actually forget him on the painting table and went, oh no, I'm missing something. And then the whole thing with my Orc Mech Boy Scooter and his Stompa Stacy, it just kind of happened. It was a spur of the moment idea and it kind of worked. So now that everyone has asked me to really talk about the Titan Lords, what I've discovered after playing the Titan Lords, I wouldn't say I played a lot of the Titan Lords, but I played with a lot of Titan Lords and I got to see just what they can do on the board. Titan Lords are just not good. Their close combat Titans don't have enough close combat to guarantee they kill what they're attacking. You would think that an 800 point Titan would be able to kill a battle rig in close combat because the battle rig can't fight back. When I was recording the plates to talk about the units earlier on in the week, I was in awe at the power of those weapons. As it turns out, those weapons on those platforms, in such small numbers that you get with the Titan Lords, are just not that impressive on the board. The close combat Titan, even though it does have a lot of attacks, only hitting on 3 and a lot of those attacks only being AP2, it's not able to really go the distance for armored vehicles, which you're going to see a lot of on the board, regardless of game size. And then with the guns, a lot of the guns don't have the mass stopping power that it looked like they did. Maybe some of the blast weapons into lighter style infantry would be useful, but if you put a Titan on the board, you're going to have other stuff that's going to be able to kill the lighter style infantry that's going to be cheaper and more efficient. And all the big anti-tank weapons are all very low shot numbers, so we'll fall into the trap of just single bad dice rolls. This is a very dice roll dependent army. If you roll below average, you are going to do very, very poorly with the Titan Lords. And then even if you roll above average, you might just break even with them. Nexus Wargaming did a tier list on the different armies for Grimdark Future, and he put Titan Lords as an F-class army. And when I first saw the video, I thought, oh, it can't be that bad. But then after playing them, I totally see it is that bad. Titan Lords, with their low numbers, they should have a lot more powerful weapons to equalize out their small numbers. Even the large Titans with the guns, you can only split into 2 different enemies when you're shooting. And that is if you have 2 different weapons to split with. Because if you took like 2 Gatling cannons, both of those Gatling cannons have to go into one target. You can't split those between 2 different targets because the shooting rule says that you have to fire your weapons in groups. So you'd have to put all your Gatling cannons into one target, and then your fusion gun or heavy machine gun would be the only thing that can fire into another target. And then the Titans that are 1 gun, 1 close combat weapons seem to be the worst of both worlds, because you're only going to have half of the shooting potential that the double gun Titan does, and that 1 gun is going to be lackluster for what you think it's going to do, and your melee weapon is pretty much just going to be for show because no one is going to charge into you unless they have something that is specifically made to charge Titans. Like if I'd set up with the War Disciples a game against 4 of the Night Titans, the War Disciples, I would have tooled up 1 or 2 squads that were specifically designed to be Night Hunters, and the rest of them would just avoid the Titans completely. And I fully expect the War Disciples to come out on top in that contest as well. And as far as the other question, when does Knights become viable? Like, what point level do Knights become viable to put on the board? I don't think there is a level. Even at 10,000 points there against the Orcs in the Demolition Derby, if I was not flubbing it and if it was not scripted, those Titans would have been obliterated. And the whole reason I went for a scripted derby instead of a competitive style game was I didn't want anyone who liked the Titan Lords to walk away going, oh no, my army is terrible. Because I don't know, I don't do every combination, I don't fight every single opponent. There could be opponents and combination of Night Titans that work out great. I'm just a dude that plays games in his garage and puts it on YouTube. I don't pore over spreadsheets damage potential curves or math theory, every possible combination. No, I don't have time for that. That's not what I'm into one-page rules for. I'm into one-page rules to have fun. And hopefully everybody who listens to me is into one-page rules to at least find the fun there. Because with the Titan Lords, it's going to be fun putting your big stompy robots on the field, but as far as competitive goes, this just ain't it. Now, if I caused anybody any distress with that, I'm awful sorry. It wasn't my intention, but Titan Lords just are not good right now. So I'll go ahead and sign off from out here in the garage. Remember, it's just a game. Don't take it too seriously. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.